single and childless in my mid-30s, and we all know that dating apps suck and make dating so much harder than it used to be. But I think in addition to that, there are actually a lot of ways that the internet in 2025 has made dating significantly worse and just so much harder for single people.
Dating in your 30s is no joke. I am exhausted after work.
I'm 31. I'm actively, desperately trying to find my person.
The wall is no joke, and many women are learning that harsh reality the hard way. This is what it looks like when women give up their best years to the streets.
I'm just going to be real with you right now. Dating gets worse in your 30s. It gets worse in your 30s. Oh, I don't know what is going on in the air. I don't know if it's 2025. I don't know what is up, but dating is horrible. The qualities in men right now are horrible. I would rather be alone than settle for a man right now, because anybody I've met sucks. Like, sucks. They either are like really good on paper and horrible in person, or like, I don't even know. Like, honestly, I've been hit with so many curveballs, like in the past couple years turning 30. I'm like, whoa, what happened? Like in my 20s, I feel like I met like a better selection. But maybe when you get to this age, a lot of people start showing their true colors. I have no idea. But yeah, I'd rather be alone than settle for some of these people. I'd rather be at home with my dogs and no drama than some of these selections out here. But yeah, dating has been probably the worst dating I've ever had has been in my 30s. And that sucks to say, but we're going to keep our hopes up that it gets better. If not, you're going to find me on The Golden Bachelor. Like, Lord have mercy.
As she mentioned, in her 20s she found a better selection of men, but guess what? She didn't choose any of them to build with. But now in her 30s, she's saying the qualities of men are bad. She's complaining how hard it is. But the truth is, the problem isn't the men, it's the timing. When she had options, she ignored the serious guys and chased the excitement. She treated good men like a backup plan, assuming they would always be around. Now the dating pool feels worse, not because men changed, but because her leverage changed. In her 20s, she was the one doing the choosing. In her 30s, she's hoping to be chosen. And instead of admitting she wasted her prime years on the wrong men, she shifts the blame onto today's men, calling them low quality, immature, not serious, when really the serious men were there years ago. She just didn't want them at the time. This is why so many women hit their 30s and suddenly wake up. They start realizing the consequences of their earlier choices.
I'm about to go on a second date. I haven't been going on dates since January, and before that, couldn't tell you when the last time I went on a date was. But I'm really excited for this. But dating in your 30s is no joke. I am exhausted after work. Don't feel like getting ready. I work remote, so that's just tough in general to get myself motivated to want to get ready to go out. But got to get back out there, and hopefully I found love.
I'm 31. I'm actively, desperately trying to find my person. I have no shame in admitting this. I know a lot of people try to act all calm, cool, and collected about this shit, but not me. I'm not that person. Because if you were honest with yourself about the options out here, you would also be nervous. And like, here's the thing. We all saw me on the show talk about how I felt pressure as a 31-year-old and everyone lost their shit. But like, I'm struggling for a man to even commit to a date out here, let alone marriage. So I'm not hopeful.
Whenever you're dealing with a man, please keep in mind if they want to play, they have to pay.
There's actually a word for that, and it's not dating.
And if they're low on funds, they can't have no fun.
Let's think about this. What exactly is the term for charging someone for certain activities? I'm sure if we think about it really hard, we can all think of it.
Stop being so nice to them. They are not nice people. They're only being nice so that they can gain access to you and your holes.
Oh, how classy. Almost as classy as charging men for access.
They are the fakest creatures on this earth. They are liars. They are manipulators. It's literally encoded in their DNA.
Encoded in their DNA. Is it now? Just a question. They still teach biology in school, right? Has that turned into a class that individuals don't have to pass to graduate?
And please just keep in mind whenever you're dealing with them that you are in there to get something out of the deal, because I guarantee you they are not leaving empty-handed.
Ever wonder why so many guys choose to remain single? Well, it's because a lot of women actually agree with these types of statements.
There's nothing shocking about this, really. Many modern women today are pretty vocal about charging men for their time, if you know what I mean. For her to say if men want to play, they have to pay, just proves the mentality a lot of guys are walking away from. It's transactional. It's entitlement, wrapped in standards. They treat their time like a product and men like customers. Then wonder why dating feels impossible. She's basically admitting her presence is for sale, and then she'll turn around and complain that men aren't approaching, aren't committing, aren't taking them seriously. And the craziest part is, these same women will say they want a real connection, a serious relationship, and a good man, while openly saying men must pay to be around them. This kind of mentality comes from broken women who embedded the world's oldest profession in their DNA, because somewhere along the line they convinced themselves that their value only exists when a man is paying for something. That's not confidence, that's survival mode disguised as empowerment.
I think the biggest problem with modern dating is that everyone thinks they have way more options than they already do, but then also everyone's looking for this like perfect person, and the more people you meet, the less likely you are to be like blown away by somebody. Because by and large, the pool of the people you've met is so much larger that you're like going to find less people who are so unique and like feel right for you. And then you're also going to have changed as a person by the time you've dated everybody. So then you're virtually never going to make a decision. Like, I feel like that's so hard.
I love a man who can like fix a car and build a house, you know? Like that is my type. Tell me if you girls can relate, but nothing makes me want a man more than when I'm having car problems. No, but seriously, all of a sudden all of my standards and things I'm picky about go out the window, and I just need a man, and I need him in that moment, you know? So yesterday I was driving home from dinner, got a flat tire, so I'm stuck on the side of the road. All of a sudden, I'm like, who can I text? I'm thinking about that situationship I had 7 years ago that I forgot existed. Like, what? I'm like, any man will do. Like, I don't care who, I don't care details. We just need to make it work, you know, because car issues are a blue job. And as a woman, I have no desire to use that part of my brain. Will I be driving a car for the rest of my life? Probably. Do I want to learn anything about cars other than the ability to drive? Absolutely not. That's a man's job. I said what I said. So now I need to go to the tire shop, have them put on tire on my car, and I'm not very happy about that. Any guys out there know how to fix cars, put on a tire? I'm single.
These women are red flags, and I'll tell you why. And it's something I've mentioned before. Any woman who desires a man when she's having issue in her life, and in this woman's case, car problem, she doesn't really like you, she likes your services and your ability to fix her problems. And that right there is the most dangerous kind of interest a man can ever receive. Because she's not choosing you, she's choosing what you can provide in that moment. If she didn't need help, she wouldn't even be looking in your direction. This is survival-based attraction, not genuine attraction, and these women always expose themselves. Notice they never show interest when things are going well for them. They show interest when they're in crisis, when they're stressed, when they need a wallet, a mechanic, a handyman, a therapist, or a financial bailout. Suddenly they become friendly, soft, interested. That's not romance. That's opportunistic behavior.
Men, stop taking care of these ungrateful women. If they can't give you what you need to cut them off. You need to block them. You need to find you another one that's going to love you, give you what you need, all the mental and physical loving that you need, and that's going to cook for you, and that's going to love on you and be polite to you and treat you like a king that you are. A lot of these women are delusional. They think that you are supposed to pay everything for them, take care of their kids, do everything for them. No. Stop doing for these ungrateful women that don't love you. It don't matter how good that she thinks she doing for you. Her attitude messed up and she can't respect you, especially when you bringing paper in the house and you got everything on your own. You better listen to me. Stop allowing these women to mistreat you, abuse you, and use you. You a king. You better than that. Right hand of God.
Honestly, it's kind of scary to see there's so many people out there who are willing to settle or lower their standards for anyone that would give them attention. I'm in my late 20s, I'm 28, and I look around my friend group. I feel like a lot of them settled because they are afraid of being alone. I mean, it's totally valid to feel lonely, especially if you live in a bigger city like LA or New York. It's just hard to form genuine connections with people. But I'd much rather staying single and being alone than settling for someone just for the sake of being in a relationship or getting married or having kids. And what if I settle now and I'm going to be regretting 10 years later and ended up getting a divorce? I do not want that. That sounds so messy. I do not want to get myself involved in that. So it's either I'm going to be able to find my special someone or I'm just going to be ended up staying single and being by myself, and I'm fine with that.
So, the only single woman in her friend group feels like her friends settle. Where haven't we heard that before? The thing is with these types, they have a fantasy stuck in their imagination, believing that they will have the perfect match. But what they don't understand is that everyone settles at some point, not in a negative way, but in a realistic, mature way. Nobody gets 100% of everything they dreamt up in their teens. Life doesn't hand you a flawless partner crafted from your imagination. These women cling to this Disney movie-level expectation, thinking Prince Charming will walk in with perfect looks, perfect money, perfect personality, perfect lifestyle. And because they're stuck on that fantasy, they can't even see a good man right in front of them. They think choosing a real human partner instead of their imaginary ideal man means settling. Meanwhile, the truth is ironic. She's the only one who wasn't chosen by anyone in her friend group.
This video's for all my girlies who are in their 30s and single. In case you haven't heard it today, good job! Good job not settling. Good job not settling for the almost but not right guy. Good job not settling for the narcissistic guy. Good job not settling for the guy who looked amazing to everyone and you saw a whole nother side. Good job for not settling for the one who cheated on you. Good job for not settling when it would have derailed your destiny. It's better to be single and praying for a godly marriage than to be wishing you didn't get married.
Our generation has become so sick. We have turned the most beautiful thing, finding a partner, into something so ugly that we now think you can form a deep, genuine connection with anyone. There are billions of people in this world. You can always find someone hotter, smarter, richer, better body, taller, more fit, whatever you're looking for, younger. But you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find that connection that you built with someone special. You're not going to find that in everyone. And that's what we are taking for granted in today's dating world. Just because you see a hotter person pop up on your screen. Building a connection is saying, hey, I love what I have with this person. I'm going to make it work. And I don't care who comes by. They're not going to interrupt this bond because this bond is special and bonds cannot be replaced. So yes, you can replace the physical body. You can replace something better looking, but you cannot replace the soul connection that you have. And some of you need to just sleep on that. That's all.
There is a lot of issues in modern dating. Both men and women take some level of blame. But when we really look at it, women take on the majority of the blame. Feminism, the Me Too, even now, they have a magazine talking about how it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend. And that right there shows you how far off the rails things have gone. Modern dating didn't collapse by accident. It collapsed because the loudest voices told women that men are optional, relationships are a burden, and independence means pushing men away. Look at the messaging. You don't need a man. Relationships hold you back. Build your career first. Have fun in your 20s. Men are the problem. And then when they hit their 30s, suddenly it's, where are all the good men? It's the same cycle over and over again. Society spent an entire decade telling women that commitment is embarrassing, that being a girlfriend is a downgrade, that having a man who loves you is somehow weak. They made femininity a joke. They made healthy relationships uncool. They made bitterness a personality.
The longer that I go being single, the more and more my brain tries to trick me into being okay with the possibility of being single for possibly my entire life. And I know ultimately at the end of the day, I would have to be okay with it because I'm not just going to stop living my life because I don't have a partner. But it's really frustrating because I simultaneously really do strive to get into a loving, healthy, lifelong relationship, hopefully. And I feel like recently I have been trying to tell myself and gaslight myself into thinking that I don't want certain things that I know deep down I really want and that I've wanted since I was like a little girl. And like I said, the more and more time that passes that I'm not getting anywhere near like being in a long-term relationship, I feel like I'm almost speaking to that inner child version of myself and trying to tell her like, hey, all of these things that you want, all of these things that you have dreamed of, they're probably not going to happen. So you better start expecting lifelong singleness. And I hate that that's where my mind's going because like that's not who I am majority of the time. Like majority of the time I do live in this mentality like, okay, one day I'll meet someone. But I don't know, recently things have been shifting within me and I catch myself thinking certain things and I'm like, where did that come from? Because I do not recognize these thoughts. And like I said, it's almost as though my mind is trying to prepare me for this possibility of being single forever, which I know, like, I'm only 30 years old and obviously I can't predict the future, but things are not progressing anywhere and they haven't for a very, very long time. And so it's hard for me to logically understand that like anything can happen at any moment. But again, at the same time, I feel like that cynical side of me, that side of me that is fearful, is trying to prepare me and protect me and be like, hey, you really need to start accepting that things might not go the way that you want. And like I said, I don't want to live this way. Like I don't want to live with the assumption that I'm never going to find someone because like realistically, there are so many people in the world and I have no idea where I'm going to end up. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. I so badly want to believe 100% like I'll find someone. It doesn't matter when, how, where, but I'm just finding that more recently, I'm more on the side of like, yeah, you're probably never going to find someone. And I hate it. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, is this something that everyone experiences who has been single for a long time? Is this what happens the longer you are single? Because I know regardless at the end of the day, with whichever option ends up happening, I will be okay. Like, you best believe I'm going to still live the most full and exciting life as I can. But I think ultimately, my biggest fear is that I will not be able to fulfill that one dream that little Lex has had. And it makes me sad that I might let her down.
The thing is, women wouldn't have to worry about getting to this point where they're worried about being single forever if they'd taken dating and finding a man seriously. This always happens to older women. As soon as she's in her 30s, the panic kicks in. The reason why she's worried about how she can't find a man is because a lot of these women in their 30s are set in their ways and refuse to change. Most of these women get stuck in their habits, their routines, their independence, their pride, and their "I don't need a man" mindset. And when you're that set in your ways, it becomes almost impossible to compromise, to adapt, or to build with someone. Relationships require flexibility, and many of them lost that years ago.